So I want to start out by asking y'all just to share some reflections on two things. One, what is your vision for what you're fighting for? You can talk about that in terms of Durham, since that's where we're here, but if it goes broader than that, feel free to go broader. What is your vision for what we're fighting for? And then, what are the tactics that you've been engaging that you feel like have been powerfully moving us in that direction? Anybody can start.
Yeah. Hey, my name is Zaina Alsus. And I'm going to kind of answer that question, and I have some prepared things that I wanted to say. So I'm the daughter of Palestinians who were born and raised as refugees in Lebanon. And I was personally born and raised in North Carolina, on stolen land cultivated by black slaves. So I make it very clear when I engage in political dialogues like this one, and sometimes at parties, that I center dismantling anti-blackness and all the activism that I do. Unequivocally, unapologetically, I am an Arab woman, and my demand is black power. Because we live with an empire, with an education system and media that specializes in erasure, I think there is confusion, particularly for many non-black folks, on what we mean when we say we need black power. So we need black power because anti-blackness is the condition that, paired with capitalism and patriarchy, enables all of the oppression that we face. Black power is the condition within which we end this world and create a new one. We have never lived in a world where black power emanates because this system cannot coexist with black power. So when I say my demand is black power, it is not because I love black folks, though I do. It's because I want freedom. I want a new world order. So when Fannie Lou Hamer says none of us are free until all of us are free, it's not just a cute mantra, it's political analysis. True freedom for all of us cannot coexist with bondage of some. Anti-blackness is why worker wages and conditions are so poor in this country. Anti-blackness is the main instigator behind gentrification or occupation and displacement of black neighborhoods that translates into all of us paying exorbitant rents. Anti-blackness in the form of mass incarceration and simultaneous prison slave labor and removal of voting rights for people with a record put us in a situation where millions of black people are prevented from meaningfully participating in any kind of democratic process, enabling white supremacist right-wing supermajorities that fuck all of us over while corporations make record profits. Sound familiar from North Carolina? So black slave labor, past and present, enables the state and corporations to make billions and billions of dollars, some of those billions then going towards the genocide of my people in Palestine. So when I say my demand is black power, this shit is personal for me. I really love the hashtag that the occupiers are using, dismantle Duke Plantation. And so we know how past plantations in the South were dismantled, black-led uprisings, work stoppages, militant strategic direct action, assisted by non-black allies who utilized their resources, media, and organizing of their own to advance the cause of abolition. So that's the lens and framework that I use for my organizing. And so in terms of my main focus, obviously using this lens of building black power, one thing that I did want to address with this group today, something that I've been thinking a lot about is if we say that our goal is black power, for non-black folks, what is that? What does solidarity look like in the time of Black Lives Matter? So I think this kind of goes to one of the tensions that you were referencing. So because of this era of Black Lives Matter, we see this incredible mobilization of black activism. I've seen a lot of non-black folks confused on what their role is right now, and oftentimes that translates into this kind of self-conscious solidarity, where white and non-black folks feel like they can't act unless specifically directed by black folks on what to do. So I really want to urge non-black people to not see this current moment as a time to step back. This is a time to step to the side and get to work. So here's what we know. Our resistance movements need to be black-led and uplift the goal of black power, for the reasons that I laid out before, and for so many other reasons. But that does not mean that non-black folks can't be leaders. And it doesn't mean that we can just sit back while black folks are putting their bodies on the line, right? So I actually do see a lot of meaningful solidarity opportunities in this time, for non-black folks who want to support this aim of black power. And a couple things that, that could be days-long conversation, but a couple things that I'm going to focus on right now. Some opportunities, political opportunities. One is more opportunities for internationalism, or like bridging our resistance movements in this country to those happening abroad. And then, so the question of like what to do with white folks, that's a question that's like been going on, right? I mean, Malcolm X said it's really not a matter of like what to do or like how do we organize black folks, it's really a question of how do we organize white folks. That's been a contentious question. And I don't have the answers, unfortunately, but I've been thinking about it. So in terms of internationalism, I really like to talk about Ferguson and the Ferguson Uprising, and what I saw is this really beautiful collaboration between black leadership and also Arab and Palestinian liberation groups, forging those connections. And the reason why that's so important, again, is like if we're moving past just verbal solidarity, it's not just like, oh, we support Palestine because it's really sad that Palestinians are getting brutalized. It's because any kind of collaboration with fascism abroad does translate into oppression in this country as well. And so, for example, you had police chiefs being trained in Israel, bringing those tactics back to this country on how to repress black uprising, right? And so that's the reason why we need collaboration and solidarity, because like our fates are so deeply intertwined. And so I was really moved by, what I saw as like Palestinian leaders really stepping up and supporting black-led movements, and it's something that I think that we can continue to build on. Also, I've been reading this book, Detroit, I Do Mind Dying, and it really covers the League of Revolutionary Black Workers, and they're organizing in the 60s in Detroit. Is there a timekeeper? Anyways, just tell me to
7 minutes.
Right, okay. Okay, the League of Revolutionary Black Workers. And they made some really meaningful coalition with both white and Arab workers. Again, it's revolutionary black-led, but because there is these conditions that all of us are faced with Arabs also facing racist conditions, there were paths to collaboration, and one of the most meaningful ones being that the League of Revolutionary Black Voters were really emphatic in their solidarity of Palestinian resistance. And so why we care about that today is for those of us in the room who are like the children of immigrants. It's really important for us to be making those connections, like when we're talking to our family members about why they need to support a black uprising, again, because our interests are vested in black uprising and black revolution. So in